party started! That was kind of weak. Let's get this party started! My name's Chuck Huber, and I am an actor.
Wait, does that mean like act?
Some of the characters you may know that I have done, beginning way back in the early days, Garlic Jr. and Android 17 from Dragon Ball. And then I moved quickly on to Hiei from Yu Hakusho. You may kiss my hand. Would anyone like to kiss her kiss? Then after Hiei, I did Hiro Nohara and Shin-chan. I did Kululu and Sergeant Frog. Dr. Stein and Soul Eater. What else have I done? Shadow Tucker. Oh! I'm the dead, and I wrote Boston too. That was one of the first shows that I did all by myself. What? I think my wife would take exception to that. As would my 6-year-old. Well played. So this is my acting panel where we get to talk about acting. You get to ask questions about it. And then we're going to get up and do some acting games that will demonstrate these 12 volunteers who showed up early to begin learning first. And then you guys will watch them and you can take these games and play them, practice. They're fun games to play outside at the con, in the hotel room, in the middle of a busy street. Busy street. Please, no one go in a busy street. A what? Ew. So first off, let's just start. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask about acting or voice acting or career as an actor or what size my neck is?
So the two acting schools of thought would be you act like the character and then you become the character, or you become the character, then you act like the character. Which one are you?
I refer to, and you should Google this because it's very funny, on the show Extras, Ian McKellen is talking to, what's his face from Extras? Ricky Gervais, and he's talking to him about acting, and he's giving him acting advice, and he says, well, I pretend to be the character, and if I worry about what words I have to say, they've written them down for me in a script. So I don't have to even think about that. If I don't know where to stand, they tell me because they have a director. So I just pretend to be the character. I would say you... Say that again, the character first and then act like it?
You can either act like the character to be the character, or you be the character and then you'll act like it.
For me, it comes from physicality usually. Like I'll find something physical. This is something strange. And it sort of physically changes the voice. And sometimes it's the costume. Sometimes it's the words on the page. Sometimes it's the idea of the play or movie or television show or anime that I'm doing. Suddenly, the character will pop out at me and I know what I want to do with it. When I don't know what to do, I act it first and then the character comes later, which means you use the technique. You have good intention. Character has to have an intention and an obstacle, which is, what do I want and what's stopping me from getting it? And that's where the fun, drama, and conflict comes from. Sorry. Yes, question.
Okay, I have a funny one and a serious one, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so, the funny one, I'm going to record something. You're the greatest. Okay, can you tell Can I agree Saeed that you love her in your sign voice, please?
Hannah what?
Hannah Irene Saeed, tell her that you love her in your sign voice.
Hannah Irene Saeed, I love you in my sign voice.
Man, this is a serious question.
Oh, that wasn't the serious one.
Well, it's serious. How did you get started voice acting?
This is really funny because I had no idea. I'm like, anime, what's that? And my buddy Brad Jackson said, oh, they're having auditions. You should go audition. It's Funimation. They're doing the Dragon Ball Z thing. I'm like, I almost didn't even do it. I was like, whatever. He's like, no, they pay you money. I was like, oh, okay. And so I went, and this guy, this bald-headed guy, hey, come on in, great to be here. Chris Sabat, you know. I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you too. And Justin was the engineer back then, not head of production. And eventually John Bergmeyer was the engineer. It's really strange, everyone keeps growing, you know. But so I auditioned, and I got the role of Garlic Jr. I was like, oh, this is fun. And I still had no idea. And then they cast me in other things, and I still had no idea how amazing it was. And then I went to a convention. Oh my God, this is awesome! So it's like not until I met you guys that I realized how amazing it was. So that's how I got into it, just purely by accident. Yes.
How scared are you of fangirls?
I'm not scared of anything.
Not the one scared, you run out the door screen.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, first one doesn't have to do with anything, but would you sign my boot?
Yes, exactly. Let's do that.
And the other one, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Sweet. You are amazing.
What if I said orange? Does that mean I'm a door? Green, no yellow. Yes. My best escape route? What my wife wants you to do. It's the ring thing, it's marriage scene, I have 6 children, it's that kind of thing. People are like, oh, a fangirl, oh, 6 kids, and you're kind of like my dad. Yes.
If you, wow, okay. Reverse.
You're one equal to question.
Do you practice, and if so, how often and what is your method?
For practicing,
Yes.
continually auditioning. Audition.
Auditions are your practice?
Yeah, you just, because, well, how you prepare for an audition is how well you're going to succeed in this business. And if you get the audition sides, they call them sides. It's a little,
I'm with an agency, so.
Good. So you get the sides, and you practice. However hard you practice for those auditions is, first of all, it's your practice time, and that's going to determine how well you do in the business.
Are you aware of the book Audition by Michael Shirley?
Michael Shirtless' book is an
I have that
excellent
book in
audition.
my purse.
That's a great book. His stuff. And I'll give you one extra tip that Michael Shirtless' book didn't have. That an actor named Glenn Morshower
Oh,
told me.
Kai Nelson. I know him. I hope he knows Glenn. Sorry, I know people that know Glenn.
Well, Glenn used to say you come into the audition room, and as soon as you step through that door, your audition has begun. And your audition doesn't end until you leave the room. So he would say a lot of actors do their audition and then they, okay, and they think it's done. Well, they've dropped the whole energy of the room. So you come into the room with an energy. And before you leave, stepping out, thank you very much for your time.
Great. Epic win.
You don't have to be a jerk about it, like I just was. Yeah. What you working on these days? Love that question. I just finished a pilot, which possibly for the Sci-Fi Network, called The Mechanical Grave. It is a steampunk thriller.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Prussia from Italia plays like a Edgar Allan Poe steampunk robot.
Okay, this sounds impressive.
Prussia is one of my best friends. He's a great guy. Jonathan Brooks is
He's
his
from
name.
what you said?
Jonathan Brooks, Italia. And he was also in Oedo Rocket. And he was in lots of stuff. But he's in this Mechanical Grave thing. You can look it up on Facebook, Mechanical Grave.
Is it called Mechanical Grave?
The Mechanical Grave, yes.
Okay.
And then after that, I worked on a movie called Odd Man Out, where I was one of the leads, and it was
Odd Man Out.
You would think, and yet at the end of it, turns out maybe not. It was sneaky switcheroos. And then the thing I'm working on, literally just before I came down here, I was uploading new, what are those things, kind of photos that to my Facebook page. I just started the Facebook page for Arbor Day the Musical, which is a musical, and some people starring in it, you may know. There's a guy named Vic Mignogna in it. A girl named Brina Valencia. Chris Sabat is doing all the sound engineering and stuff on it. Who else is in it? And a bunch of other people who are anime people. But it's a musical, and there's lots of cool singing in it. And you get to see Vic when he was on Star Search.
That's awesome.
It's called Arbor Day the Musical. Go like it on Facebook. Arbor Day the Musical. It's awesome. Yes, sir.
When you had your first audition, do they still have those auditions around?
I have heard rumors that I can neither confirm nor deny that they are piecing together a lot of that old audition stuff for extras on, I don't know what, maybe the Blu-ray, the BBC Kai or something, I don't know. But I just asked Justin, and he was like, you had some hilarious stuff back in the day. So yeah, apparently they do hold on to all that. Which makes me very nervous. Yes.
If you could turn yourself into any anime character, what would you turn yourself into?
PA. And then I would kill all of you. Just kidding. Yes, back here.
So is he your favorite anime character then?
PA was the most fun when I'm with the fans. And he was fairly easy to do in the booth. He was the most fun with the fans. Hiro Nahara was probably the most fun because it's a lot like me and it's just a lot of laughing and goofing around. And Sergeant Frog was the most fun to ride. Maybe Hitalia was. No, Hitalia was. No, Sergeant Frog. No, Sergeant Hitalia was my favorite. Yes.
I was just wondering if you could do just a couple of fun little lines in Austrian voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Wait, ready? Hold on. Yes, my camera.
I'm trying to think of what it is that I sound like when I'm in Austria. I think that's it, right? That was it. Yes, back here.
What's one of the best experiences you've been able to have because of your job as a voice actor?
Right now, I mean, quite honestly, when I get to go to the conventions, because I don't get to go all that often because my wife kind of goes, really? 6 kids at home here, pal. You want to come home and help out a little? So I do 4 or 5 years. So this is probably the most fun that I have as a voice actor. Yes, back here.
Yeah. Speaking of here a little while ago, I noticed in the movie the voice sounded different. Was that you, or did someone else steal your role?
No, I forget what the hibbity jibbit was with that, but we didn't have the rights to that. Funimation didn't have the rights, and so some other company did it.
USA manga. USA manga.
But then maybe if you argue and yell and scream enough, maybe they'll get the rights and we'll do that movie.
That's all?
I can't read.
Right here.
Well, I'm a local voice actor around because I do puppet shows.
Nice.
And
I started doing puppet shows.
and I usually do like little kids or like the big scary guy. But I was wondering what things you did to improve your voice acting skills.
To improve the voice acting skills, I would say that number one is acting. You have to be an actor.
To be a voice actor.
Yes, you have to be an actor to be a voice actor. But in specifically doing characterizations is properly warming up, and then you have like 127 muscles in your face, and they have literally done scientific testing showing that if you put a pencil in your mouth like this, and you put a pencil in your mouth like this, that just making the frown face and making the smile face, just activating those muscles, changes the chemistry in your brain so that if you're smiling, it makes you happy in your head, and if you're frowning, it makes you sad. So these muscles actually have some control over your emotions. So for me, voice acting is all about physicality, trying to physically, because they're not going to see it, so they have to hear what you're doing through your voice. So constantly stretching your face into different characterizations will give you more range. And then you can do, my voice is really kind of shot right now. I had 2 video game sessions and then a couple other things last week that were lots of talking. So my voice is kind of, you can hear the raspiness in it. But you know, when you can just, you know, explore different ranges, pick people to copy, you know, all of us start by copying other people. We started around the dinner table at my house. It was always a big joke to see who can answer the phone in the funniest voice. Oh, hello, you've called us! You know, this was back when there was only one phone in the kitchen on a long, long cord, and you used to have to take it like this to talk to your girlfriend, like in the closet. So it'd be, yeah, and then your brothers are pounding on the closet door. Terrible. Does that answer your question? Boom. We'll do 2 more questions, then we'll get up and start. Well, let me check my time.
Sorry, actually, I already asked a question, so those 2 can.
Well, you've already asked a question too. You asked a question? Then ask it.
I
can do that with my head.
Significant other. So do you ever practice around the house, or do you do it when your wife and kids aren't there?
My poor wife and children and neighbors. My kids have actually said to me, Dad, will you please use your real voice? And I'm like, I don't know what it is. God, I don't know what my real voice is anymore. They're like, your voice when you're angry, but quieter. I'm like, okay, something like this. Okay, yeah, that's my real voice. Yeah, we do voices all. And now the kids have gotten into it too, which is so funny. My little girl, Sophie, she goes, I want to talk Boston. I'm like, you want to do a Boston? Where did you get you want to do a Boston dialect? She's like, oh, I was watching a Ben Affleck. No. What are you doing watching that? Yeah, I'll get you next. So now she's all like, park the car and Harvard Yard. So now everybody, the whole house is like, park the car. And then they do like, try to do British and all this stuff. It's fun. Yes?
Yeah, right alongside with that, even though my dad is probably not remotely a voice actor, he would oftentimes do stuff like that while reading the comics to us. Do you do that to your kids?
Oh, yes. That's where I do a lot of my practicing. Like the kids reading the stories at night, I'll be like, 'twas brillig and the sliding door. And it's like my wife's like, it's a baby, stop it. But there's certain books that I like better because I'm like, oh, there's more fun voices in that book. They're like, we're tired of that one. Read this one that's like one character and I'm like, and you know, I want to read the one that I get to switch the characters all the time. They get tired.
You should read Harry Potter.
Oh, I'd have to practice a lot. And some of them I peg them with different, like, this will be this voice, this will be this voice.
That'd be a great idea for a panel. Chuck reads children's stories to the
I am working on an audio book doing Chuck Huber reads Grimm's fairy tales.
By the way, you hear seen Christopher Walken read the Three Little Pigs?
Yeah. That's the greatest thing. My favorite children's stories, Hilaire Belloc has these children's stories called Cautionary Tales for Children. And they're like, little Jimmy was told by Miss Susie not to walk off when they were at the zoo. But little Jimmy doesn't listen. So he got his head bit off by a lion. Next picture's like little Jimmy without a head and a lion with little blood. Let's read that to the children.
It's like those PETA, like they did something with fish or something. There were all these graphic, like chips, whatever. And so there were all these children's stories about fish. And there was this one about like this fish that wanted to go to Colin or some crap. And he gets like captured by the evil humans. And then they like kill all of his friends, and then he has like PTSD, and then he goes back to the water and he's going like there.
Sounds like a Disney movie. I was trying to write a children's book called The Mighty Oak, and it was going to be about this mighty oak with the heart of the oak at the center was just a tiny little sliver, but he always wanted to be useful, and Years and years pass, and he gets chopped up and chopped up and chopped up into more and more useful things, but he wants his center, his heart, to be useful. And finally, one day, he's chopped into a sliver about this big, and then he gets plucked out of the other ones that are shaped that way and dipped into scalding hot coffee, stirred around, and thrown in the garbage.
Sounds like a sick variation.
It was like Starbucks, like he ended up as a Starbucks.
May I say what I wanted to ask the second time?
Sure.
Just really quick. I just wanted to say that I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and Yu Hakusho, so like this is actually like really awesome for me to meet you, and I wanted to say that.
This is why I love coming here, because you guys are the best.
I mean,
Give yourselves a round of applause.
yeah.